Good morning all, hope you're doing well. So we'll just start with the dashboard and we'll look at the QDB scores, then we'll look at the indices and gold, and then we can look at our robot. So the thing is with the risk calc is that we have seen a capitulation of the bears. I don't know necessarily this is new bulls entering. I think this is the old bears getting squished and destroyed. And I'll show you what I mean. And so it can be one or two things. It could be more bulls or less bears. And I think this whole move on the indices was like a big stop run, and it just pretty much destroyed the bears. So we saw a little change on the 24-hour difference, and we had come off quite a bit off the technical risk calc, and we were 85. So that we have had come off the highs, and so we have to wait and see. Now the reason why I've reset it to now is that we can see a measurement across time. This is dynamically changing every minute. So we'll see a change in real time. This is static. This won't change until tomorrow morning, but this is updating throughout the day. So this is why I've reset it. So we're currently sitting at 73 out of 100 for our risk calculation. So we're measuring against these instruments, okay? And so obviously, if the VIX pumps, then we're going to see a big decrease on that score, okay? And let's look at the indices and gold. Let's go here and get that ready, and I'll bring that across. And now the things with gold, I just seen that there's a stop loss cluster. Because we probed that low, there was an SLC there. All right, so we probed some liquidity, so we might bounce a little bit, which is quite frustrating because we've got a short idea on this, and we probably should be coming down. However, we're taking out some liquidity at that low. So 1950, we just probed it. Yeah, we would. I think a lot of the brokers would have probably stopped people out because of the spread on gold. Like 42.72, so it's quite a wide spread. So that probably would have taken people out. It's quite frustrating because we made a sell, however, we're just taking SLC out. So I guess we'll have to see how we go. I think a good strategy is that if you've made some profit, it could just move your stop ahead entry, and then you can look to re-enter. So that's what I'm going to be doing after this bulletin, I think. And it's a nice early one today. I wanted to get it out of the way. I'm going to try and get out of the house and, sort of exercise my legs and things because I didn't do much on the whole weekend. It's a bit lazy, really. So we made a sell. So we got a box on DAX, and they might sell it. Right, so we've got to be careful. If they do, we'll come up and we'll challenge that box, and we can continue higher. Depends what happens here, but I think they might sell it because they're programmed to sell, aren't they? If they see this recent price action, they'll go, well, it looks quite bearish, until they'll sell it, and then of course that'll be a support. So S&P, so they went long, right? So we've got a resistance. Okay, so look for 4511, 4531 resistance. They've gone long, and it doesn't look like they're selling it. It looks like they are going long, but it could be like less bears. This whole move here probably would have destroyed some bears. So it looks like there's more bulls, but it could be less bears. Okay, this is one of the two things, and there's some levels to work with, some supports down here. So if we do fall, it's probably going to be a buy. And then the US 30 is a little bit more confusing because we got like let's see. So we had a they went long, so we should have fallen, but we went up, which is a bit confusing. And then they sold, and then they got paid. So they got paid here, they got paid here, and then they sold, I guess you could say here, and then they got pretty destroyed on that move. So it's a bit naughty. They got paid on these two boxes, and this box might come into play because this is the most recent box. They sold it, so that's the latest zone. Is that we've got a support. Okay, so just be careful with the Dow Jones. It had paid the retail guys a little bit on these two boxes, and this one is a support. I'll show you the robot. The robot's a little bit confusing, I'll be honest with you. It's opened up some trades, and where am I? Let's get out of that OBS. It's a bit confusing. Oh, God. Oh, of course, we're here, aren't we? And yeah, it's opened up a lot of CJ trades. So I'm not really sure what happened. I know we had an API issue, and the thing is, it shouldn't trigger. Once it's triggered one, the whole idea of the logic is that there's a tug of war between two currency pairs, the top two, and so it looks like there might have been a battle of CJ and a different pair, and it looked like there was a big tussle, a big hustle back and forth, and this is probably what happened, and it might result in lots of losses. So we're going to have to look at this logic, and I have to try and put a formula in. So if it's already triggered one particular currency pair, it shouldn't trigger again. Okay, we might be a little bit unlucky in so much as that the yen is might strengthen because we might get a bit risk off. If the yen does strengthen, we're going to have some losses on CJ. We've got some 8N cells as well, and they're okay. And we'll just have to wait and see. So we'll see how we go with this CADJPY, and if it results in back-to-back losses, we'll have to put in the formula to say if it's triggered this already, don't trigger it again. But I don't know how I would do that formula, so I'd have to investigate. So I'm going to be going to Cambridge today, and I'm going to have a look at probably including a new condition on our robot. And ideally what would happen is that, you know, we got like the logic to buy, and we go into profits, right? So the whole point is that this should be doing well because the retail guys sold it on Friday, you know, at 6 o'clock in the evening. They sold it, so we should be coming up. They shouldn't be getting paid. So I guess we'll have to see how we go. If these result in losses, then we'll look at including the formula, but then that will require some thinking on my part to try and investigate how we would do that formula. So yeah, I'll just have to have a look, won't I? And that's it. So we're currently, it's doing okay. It's not terrible, but I think this CADJPY might be a bit naughty, and it might pay the retail guys, which would be quite frustrating and annoying. And then we'll just have to see if we can get a formula in there to stop the repetition. However, like I say, if they're going well, then the repetition isn't too bad and we'll make lots of profit, right? So we'll just see how we go at CADJPY, and then we can look at probably putting the formula in tonight, and we'll just see how we go. And that's it. So I'll be around if you need me. I'm going to be chilling out for a couple of hours. I'll be going to Cambridge, going to go to the library, and just to have a different scene as well, because I got stuck in my house in the whole weekend. So keep an eye on your technical risk calc. We might dip, and if we do, then we're going to be slightly more risk off. And then what we're going to be doing is when this gets nice and low, then we're going to be buying indices, and then we're going to be looking to take profit when we're in the high 80s, 90s, and that's what we'll do. So ideally we want things to dump first, and then we can look to buy. And that's it. So have a great day. I'll speak to you guys soon.